Alright, welcome to episode 2 of the Java Untitled Map game LibGDX series, and today we are going to render this orthogonal map that we created, and we are going to create an isometric map and render that as well. So actually I forgot to say in the last episode that to do this, and we're going to use LibGDX, you need some basic LibGDX knowledge, and if you don't got that, you can get it from my main series pretty much. Well, there's this episode 1 and 2 and whatever, and I think it's enough if you watch until episode 5 or something, then you already got some idea of how LibGDX is doing stuff. But I guess you already have it, that's why you're watching this episode probably. So anyway, we got this orthogonal map, and let's actually create a new project to render this thing. So I'm using the LibGDX project setup UI tool here, and we are creating a new game called Untitled Map Game. What a great name. In the package net.matfan.tiled map game, and the game class is tiled map game. I want to create this in my my Eclipse workspace right there, and I don't need the iOS project because it costs $300 and I'm not a fan of iOS anyway. Alright, so I think this is fine. It's now creating the projects. Oh, I should press this button here. So yeah, it's creating the projects. There we go. Once we got these projects, we can go into Eclipse and import them. Existing projects into workspace, and on documents, Eclipse, fine. Now it's giving us some errors as usual. Everything looks like we messed it up, but we didn't. We just want to select that it's an Android build target and whatever. Then in problems, we don't care about the warnings, just about the errors. And just quick fix this using the second solution here. Synchronize web blah 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 with SDK libraries. And alright, we got this. Let's actually open up the launchers, the main classes, and say we are going to use OpenGL 2.0, and we want this at some higher resolution. That's fine. And oh, let's keep this open because we're going to start the game at some point. And for Android, we just say that we want to use OpenGL 2.0 if possible. Alright. So right now if we start this, we got the standard LibGDX screen there that they just put in their projects. And yeah, this is not what we want. We want to render tiled maps. So let's actually delete this, delete this, delete this. Delete this. And enter here. Okay. At first we are going to extend the game. And yeah, you should know what's going on if you watch my other series, partly. Super.expose, super.render. Hello. Alright. Super.resize with the height. Super.pause and super.resume. Okay, when we create the game, we want to set the screen to a new, I have no idea, play screen. Yeah, play is good. I don't really like this name, but we cannot call it game, unfortunately. So let's create this class, and that's going to be in the package .screens, and there we go. We don't care about this one, we just care about this one. Okay, so now we can actually go ahead and render this map. So the first thing that we need to render the map is obviously the map. So there is this tiled map class in LibGDX, and it's actually in the package com.logic.gdx. Then it's getting interesting, maps, and because we're using a tiled map, there's this tiled subpackage, and then there's the tiled map. So let's actually have a look at this. Well, now I can just explain it like this. Well, this maps. Let's just put that on a new line. Let's see here. com.badlogic.gdx.maps. The maps package has got some basic stuff for maps. These maps do not have to be tiled. They can be. Then we use the tiled package, but they don't have to. So the basic system about maps in LibGDX is that there is a map, obviously, and this map has some map layers. And in these map layers there can be map objects, and everything has map properties. So the map has map properties, the map layer has map properties, and the map objects have map properties as well. Then there is some interfaces, for example the map renderer, to render that thing. Then there is also in this objects we can have some different objects of different shapes, but we don't care about that right now. And in the tiled package, which is for tiled maps, we got some basic stuff. Like for example the TMX map loader and the tiled map. There is the tiled map that we have right here, which represents a tiled map. So it's just a map with the concept of tiles and tile sets added. To render this we can use orthogonal tiled map renderer, a hexagonal, or an isometric tiled map renderer. The maps in the tiled editor can be orthogonal and isometric, so this is the only two ones that we're going to care about. Oops. Don't care about the batch tiled map renderer, it's just an abstract class that these two extend, and actually this one as well, but we don't care about hexagonal maps. They are also not used so often, so who cares? We are just going to need an orthogonal tiled map renderer. And let's remove all of this. Private orthogonal tiled map renderer. But I wasn't done talking about the maps package. Tiled. There is also this .tiles package in the tiled package, in the maps package, and this provides us a static tiled map tile, which is all the tiled map tiles that are other tiles actually that we create in this one here, because we cannot create animated tiles in the editor. But we can create animated tiled map tiles in the code. So right now we just care about static tiled map tiles. Also, what else do we got here? There's also another map editor called Tide, so we can use the Tide map loader, but we don't do this. We just care about the tiled map tile sets, the tiled map, and the tiled map renderers. So anyway, I think you got the concept. I hope you got it. And we can actually go ahead and create these things. Already 10 minutes. I need to speed up. The map is going to equal a new map? No, because for this we use the TMX map loader. Let's call this loader and create a new TMX map loader. It takes no arguments. TMX, because as you can see down there, it's called map.tmx, which is the extension for the tiles, for the tiled maps were created with this editor. So now we can say the map is gonna equal loader.load, and then we just give it the file name of the internal file from the internal file handles, and yeah, you should know about this. So this is called maps/map.tmx. but obviously we have to put this to the project before. So let's go ahead and do this. Map.tmx, copy, desktop, assets, data can go away. New package, in this case, calling it maps, and put this one in. So alright, there we go. If you open this up with the text editor, you see that here in the tile set it's referring to the tile set image, and this is actually the absolute path pretty much. It's not really the absolute path, but it's the path from where we created this map. So right now we have it in a different location and this is invalid. Let's just say we want the tile set in the same folder as the map, so we can just cut this down to tiles.png. Then we can close this again, and we actually have to get this image in there. I got this image in this other project right here. Tiles.png, and just put that in there. So now the map is ready to use. Otherwise this one here would give us an exception anyway. Okay, so now we got this map loaded. This is actually really all we need to do. And well, since this is all we need to do, we could also cut this down to map equals new tmx map loader dot load maps map.tmx. Alright, we can actually load this in one single line of code. Great. So now that we got this map, let's create the renderer. Renderer equals new orthogonal tiled map renderer, and we have to give it the map in the constructor. If you are using something else that requires a unit scale, you can also give it the map and then a float of the unit scale, so it's going to scale the whole map to your likings. But we don't need this, so let's just give it the map. We still forgot to dispose everything. And we can we dispose the map? Yep, we can, so we should do it. And the renderer. The renderer holds its own sprite batch. If we don't give it one in the constructor, I think that's possible. Yep, it's possible. So we have to dispose it. Alright, let's go ahead and render this thing. gdx.gl.gl clear color, as usual, and gdx.gl.gl clear, also as usual. Now we can actually render it. So there is this render.render method, and we can give it we can give it an array of ints of which layers we want to render. So for example, we want to render layer 1, 3, 6, whatever, but we're going to render everything. So this looks already pretty simple. Just render, create the map, and render everything. And it is actually this simple to get something on the screen, but not to get on the screen what we want. Whereas now we have this down there, and we're like, what the hell? This is not what it's supposed to look like. Well, that's actually because we have to get an orthographic camera in here. I'll also talk about orthographic cameras in the other episode, in the other series. But in that series we're talking about Box2D and then about cameras and whatever, so I'm just going to cut this camera stuff really short here. Let's create a new camera equals new orthographic camera, and if we resize, we want to set the camera's width and height. Camera.viewport width equals width, camera.viewport height equals height, And we actually have to update the camera. Yeah, so right now this would create something with, I don't know, but who cares. We're calling, after show is called, resize is called anyway, so we don't have to put the width and height of this camera in the constructor. Then we just have to tell the renderer that it should actually use this camera's viewport and actually, yeah, the camera. So we call set view and give it the camera. That's pretty simple. Now the map should be rendered correctly. And there it is. We got the map on the screen. Also, if we resize, it's not distorted or anything. But what's that? Did you see these lines? Well, who cares about the lines? This is not normal anyway, right now. So we got this map right here. But I also said we're going to render an isometric map. So let's create an isometric map. New map, which is going to be isometric. So staggered isometric maps are not supported by LibGDX yet, but who cares? We're just going to create an isometric map with 50 times 50 is okay, but it's going to be 64 times 32. And there we go. So this is an isometric map. We need to add the tile set, calling it iso tiles or something, and we'll add the image. Where do I have this image? Where do I have it? Not in here. I think in images, and then in resources, and there, isometric. These have 0 margin and drawing offset. That's all depending on the tile set that you use, and these are actually 64 times 64, I think. I hope I didn't do that wrong right now. And yeah, we can put these on the tile layer. At first, let's just fill everything with some kind of grass again. Then let's put some of these rocks on here. Oops, not like that. More like that. So yeah, this is looking totally awesome. Maybe some of these, so we don't have the corner in there all the time. Actually, who gives a crap? We're just creating some basic shit right there. And we got a nice tile map. This is totally looking good, okay? Let's call this isometric.tmx and put this into the project. We shouldn't forget to put the tile set image in again, which I also got in this other project here. And don't forget to open this with the text editor and set the path to the image. Good. Now we can already render this, and this is actually pretty simple because we just need to change this orthogonal tilemap render to an isometric tilemap render, and down here as well, obviously. And yes, this is all. This is it all. Of course, we need to select the correct map, isometric. But hey, there we go. This is all that we need to do. There it is, being rendered an isometric map. We cannot move around or anything yet, obviously, so this is pretty boring. But anyway, here we go, rendering isometric maps. Okay. We got these two topics covered, isometric and orthogonal maps. And for the rest, we're going to use an orthogonal map because that's more common and everything is kind of simpler. But if you got how to make your game with orthogonal maps, you are also going to get how to make your game with isometric maps. yeah, alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next episode, where we're going to talk about how to get tiles at a specific position. That's it. See you then.